Then thousands of healthcare workers remain on strike as both sides try to get back to the bargaining table.
We are all, ready to settle this contract, but, we need true engagement.
Plus, devastation grows in Southern California as fire crews work to contain several massive wildfires. And how firefighters from Oregon and Washington are doing their part to help out on the front lines.
The trust in Providence has gradually been eroded over the years, and this isn't just this year, it's not just this month, it's been going on for years, and it's finally gotten to a breaking point.
Well, it is day 3 of the Providence healthcare workers strike. While Providence has started to work towards resuming negotiations with some bargaining units, workers at hospitals like St. Vincent are still waiting. Thanks for joining us here at 11. I'm John Adams. Arceline Stevens was at the picket line today and has more.
For some Providence physicians and nurses, they've been striking for 3 days as of this Sunday, and they're still going strong. For those here at the picket line at Providence St. Vincent, they say there's no end in sight until Providence meets them with a new proposal that does not resemble what was on the table before the strike.
We are all, ready to settle this contract, but, we need true engagement. And we haven't seen that.
As Providence gears up discussions with federal mediators about the process for resuming negotiations with their Newburgh and Medford locations, physicians and nurses at St. Vincent are wondering, why not them?
It feels like gaslighting, honestly. And fixing problems at one hospital versus fixing problems at another hospital doesn't solve the problem. That we all do the same jobs everywhere we work.
In a press conference Saturday, Providence said they were starting with Newburgh and Medford due to many nurses going to work despite the strike and feeling that a lot of their differences were already resolved before the work stoppage.
It seems par for the course with what we have been hearing from them with this tactic of dividing the larger group. And picking and choosing who they want to interact with when all of us are here waiting.
Physicians and nurses say they need better staffing to better care for their patients and claim the state's safe staffing law is just the bare minimum.
The numbers are the bare minimum that we should have to staff the hospital, but when you have a nurse taking care of a very complicated patient, a lot of times it should be one-on-one as opposed to different ratios that they propose.
Despite Providence offering nurses raises and physicians compensation increases and incentives, the workers say it's not just about a paycheck.
What we need is for all of us to get a retirement package we can use and a benefits package overall that allows us to keep staff from going to other hospital systems.
We've gone through a huge number of nurses leaving our program to go elsewhere because of compensation and stress levels.
When asked Saturday what would be different in the next proposals, specifics weren't clear.
So I'm not at those tables. These are individual hospitals, and they are the teams that bargain those agreements.
In a statement Sunday, Providence wrote that earlier, they provided summary details of the proposals on the tables that union leaders have rejected. They continued in part to say that going forward, they plan to work with mediators to establish a schedule and anticipate other hospitals and bargaining units will be ready soon. They concluded saying they hope union leaders put the interests of their nurses first, not just their desire for increased power, and their bargaining teams at each hospital work to reach agreements as rapidly as possible.
Providence makes us sound like we're greedy physicians and nurses, and it's almost like a knife to our hearts. We really give our lives and love to our work.
In Portland, Arceline Stevens, KGW News.
Well, checking in on the weather now. The sunshine made a quick appearance earlier this afternoon, but the good news is it's going to be sticking around for a good part of the upcoming week. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is here with us with a quick look at your forecast. And Joe, it sounds like it's going to be sunny with some chilly mornings ahead.
Very chilly mornings ahead, right around that freezing mark a good portion of this week, and it drops a little bit cooler than that toward the end of the week. But the one thing I want people to pay attention to heading out tomorrow morning will be some areas of frost and some fog. We're already starting to see some visibility down to about a quarter mile to a half a mile in parts of Troutdale, down to a quarter mile, I should say, over in Portland. You get out toward Hillsborough and McMinnville, you're not going to be having a whole lot of issues, but still, at least for now. But going into tomorrow and the overnight hours, we will be looking at some areas of fog rolling in. This is where we're going to be at by tomorrow morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock, up and down the I-5 corridor, below freezing according to this model. We'll be looking at overnight lows basically the next couple of mornings right around the low 30s. So definitely a chill in the air. But thanks to this ridge of high pressure, we're going to be seeing basically sunny skies from tomorrow all the way into the end of the week and really beyond. And looking at some long range models, yeah, they're already showing that we're not going to be seeing much in terms of rain, not just this week, but into next weekend as well. Live look now over Newport, temperature of 39 degrees, and already start to see some of that fog kind of move in over downtown Portland right now with a temperature of 41 degrees. John, I'll break down your detailed forecast in about 10 minutes from now.
All right, Joe, thank you. We'll see you later in the show.
This is an absolute nightmare. This is an apocalyptic movie. There's no way to assess really the magnitude of this situation.
California leads the nation in environmental stewardship. I'm not going to give that up. But one thing I won't give into is delay.
People in Southern California communities are returning to their homes and businesses only to find destruction. Some are vowing to rebuild, and today California Governor Gavin Newsom signed an executive order cutting red tape. His office said rebuilding in the communities leveled by wildfires will be streamlined, suspending certain permitting and review processes. Red flag warnings are up across the Los Angeles area through Wednesday. Powerful winds are expected to return overnight with gusts of up to 30 to 50 miles per hour in coastal areas and up to 70 miles per hour in the mountains of Los Angeles and Ventura counties. Evacuation orders have been expanded for the Palisades fire, which is still only 11% contained. Los Angeles County now investigating 24 possible fire-related deaths. At the Santa Anita racetrack in Arcadia, California, volunteers are running a huge distribution center. The site is packed with needed supplies that have been donated to help the thousands of evacuees, some now homeless and displaced by the fires. One volunteer came all the way from Texas to help out.
I want to help because I think that all of our families, all of those brothers that lost their homes and others that are grieving, I think that it'll be uplifting that they know that the community is getting together to help them.
It's amazing how all these people come together and help. People that you don't even know, but we're a family. To God, we're all the same.
Oregon strike teams continue to fight the wildfires in the Los Angeles area. We are hearing from a firefighter from Gresham who is battling the Palisades fire. Meanwhile, the Oregon State Fire Marshal's office is pushing back on a claim circulating on social media. On Thursday, the first wave of Oregon firefighters arrived in Southern California. With them is Lieutenant Anthony Foster, a strike team member from Gresham.
Once we got our assignment down into Malibu and Pacific Palisades, I think all the crews were pretty beside ourselves with what we saw here. It was devastating.
The first 15 strike teams have been mopping up around homes and businesses destroyed by the Palisades fire. They have also had to fight new fire starts.
Tail end of yesterday's shift, we did have fire stand up on us in the canyon, so we were fighting house fires.
On Sunday, the Oregon State Fire Marshal released a statement saying claims made on social media that Oregon fire trucks were delayed and turned around in California due to emissions testing are false. Trucks did make a planned stop in Sacramento on the way down for safety inspections on engines and equipment. Foster says that process is routine when responding to wildfires.
Before anyone checks into a fire, we get safety inspections, so you can think stuff like tires, windshields, mirrors, making sure that the rig's going to be safe for us as we're operating. So that was pretty straightforward, very quick, and we moved through that pretty fast.
Oregon strike teams will be in California for a minimum of 2 weeks. Crews have made progress over the last few days, but the possible return of high winds means the fight is far from over.
Santa Ana winds, that dictates fire behavior. When those kick up, depending on the direction, that can take hot spots or ashes that were there and spread them.
More than a dozen fire departments from Washington have also deployed to California to assist in fighting those fires. Bridget Chavez joined fire crews on the front lines near LA.
Western Washington firefighters have arrived.
Happy to be here. It's definitely a voluntary process to get sent down here. Every one of them knew what they were getting into.
Stepping up to help battle the blazes burning around Los Angeles County.
What we've got today is two major things that we're working against right now: terrain and wind.
The Palisades fire pushing northeast, threatening thousands of homes.
It's not over yet as the winds continue to swirl and the smoke continues to rise.
From Snohomish to Seattle.
We're going to stay here throughout the day. We're scheduled to stay here into the night and make sure this goes cold.
The PNW has boots on the ground.
We'll probably start working that line with hand lines out further.
This is Mondeville Canyon, and this is where those new evacuation orders were just issued, and we can actually feel the heat from those flames just coming up. So the big concern from firefighters is that those flames could potentially work their way up this hill, and that's why they are working around the clock to continue to save these homes.
Without air support and winds picking back up,
helicopters reach those areas that we can't get to safely, and nor for that matter get out of there.
Firefighters say this would be a much different story.
20, 30 engines up here, 3 to 4 person crews. If we didn't have this air support, it would have been all we could do to try to slow it down.
On the recovery front, the American Red Cross has sent more than 300 workers to provide food, shelter, and emotional support during this difficult time for thousands of people. KGW has teamed up with the Red Cross to support wildfire victims in Southern California. If you have the means, please consider donating by scanning this QR code or look for the links at the top of KGW.com. You can also donate at any U.S. bank branch. Donations in the short term will help the Red Cross shelter and feed survivors, provide mental health support, and help with reunification efforts. So far, we've received more than $30,000 in contributions. New tonight, Columbia County Sheriff's deputies are responding to a shooting. It happened in the area of Green Meadow Way and Miller Road in Scappoose. The sheriff's office did not share many details, but a witness sent us video of an ambulance responding to the scene. We'll keep you posted on what happens. Several communities in Washington are activating emergency shelters ahead of near freezing temperatures in the forecast. Clark County said its homeless council has issued a severe weather alert starting tonight through Thursday. During this time, the county will increase shelter capacity and offer more resources. The county warned people with limited access to water can become dehydrated in dry colds. The town of Longview, Washington is also opening a severe weather shelter due to the forecasted cold. It's located at the McClellan Arts Center off of 9th Avenue in Delaware. It'll be open from 5 p.m. starting tonight until 8 p.m. the next morning.